At my dad's funeral, my wife admitted she'd taken my $5.5 million estate. When she tried to evict me from my own home, I revealed one legal document that shattered her plan. The cemetery groundskeeper was still smoothing dirt over my father's casket when Vanessa leaned in close enough that I could smell her perfume, the expensive one she only wore to important events. "I need to tell you something," she whispered. I was staring at the fresh earth, watching them lower the flowers family members had brought, white roses, Dad's favorite. "Not now," I said. "Yes, now." Her voice had an edge I'd never heard at a funeral before. "I changed the locks on the Bridgewater house. All of them. This morning." My brain stuttered. "What?" "The estate. It's mine now. Legally transferred. I had it handled yesterday while you were at the hospital making arrangements." The world tilted. Around us, people were still crying. My uncle Robert was supporting my aunt through her sobbing. The pastor was reading final prayers. Mourners held programs with my father's photo, the one from his 70th birthday, smiling in his study, surrounded by first edition books. And my wife of 9 years was telling me she'd stolen my inheritance. "You're joking," I managed. She smiled, actually smiled, with her mouth tight and her eyes bright. "I'm really not. The paperwork's done. Kenneth handled everything. Cost me $12,000, but it was worth every penny." "Kenneth who?" "Kenneth Shaw, estate attorney, very reputable. He explained that since we're married, community property laws give me rights to inheritance assets. I just formalized it." My hands went numb. 2 days ago, 48 hours, my father had gripped my hand in his hospital bed. His skin was paper thin, veins visible like blue rivers. "The house is yours, Derek," he'd said, each word costing him effort. "Everything's been arranged. Thomas made sure. Protect it. It's all I have left to give you." Thomas Reinhardt, Dad's attorney for 32 years. Now Vanessa was telling me she'd overridden that with some lawyer I'd never heard of. "Dad passed 3 days ago," I said slowly. "Perfect timing, actually. The transfer process moves faster when the previous owner is unavailable," she said it clinically, like she was discussing a real estate investment, not my father. I stared at her. This woman I'd met at a charity fundraiser in 2015, who'd charmed me with her intelligence and wit, who'd told me on our wedding night that she'd support me through anything. She'd been waiting, planning this, counting down the days until my father's passing so she could take everything. "We'll discuss this later," I said, voice hollow. "Nothing to discuss. It's done. Kenneth filed everything with the county recorder's office yesterday afternoon. The Bridgewater estate, all 8,400 square feet, the grounds, the guest house, it's in my name now." She patted my arm like I was a confused child. "Don't be upset, baby. We can share it, as long as things stay comfortable between us." The threat was implicit. Behave, or lose access to my own father's house. "I need to pay respects," I said, pulling away. "Of course. Take your time." She kissed my cheek. "I'll wait by the car." I watched her walk away, heels clicking on the cemetery pathway, picking her way between headstones like she was navigating a cocktail party. My Uncle Robert appeared at my elbow. "Derek, you all right? You look pale." "I'm fine," I lied. "Your father was a good man. Best friend I ever had." His voice cracked. "If you need anything." "I know, thank you." He squeezed my shoulder and moved away. I stood there, alone at the grave, and felt something inside me go very cold. I'd met Vanessa 9 years ago at the Riverside Children's Hospital Gala. I was there representing my father's foundation, the Carter Medical Research Fund, and she was working PR for one of the pharmaceutical sponsors. She'd approached me at the bar. "Derek Carter," she'd said, "I've heard about your family's foundation. The work you're doing with pediatric oncology research is incredible, beautiful, poised, genuinely interested in the foundation's mission, or so it seemed." We'd talked for 2 hours. She knew details about grant distributions, research partnerships, longitudinal studies, not the usual small talk you get at fundraisers. 3 months later, we were dating seriously. 6 months after that, engaged. My father had been cautious. "She seems wonderful, Derek, but take your time. Make sure you know who she is." I'd been defensive. "You always say that about everyone I date, because I want you to be certain." We'd married anyway. Small ceremony, just family and close friends. Vanessa had wanted bigger, more elaborate, but I'd insisted on intimacy. "Fine," she'd said, "but when we renew our vows for our 10th anniversary, I want the full event." "Deal?" I'd laughed. "Deal." The first few years were good. We traveled, built a life. She worked in medical communications. I managed the family foundation and our commercial real estate holdings. Dad approved of her eventually, though I noticed he never fully relaxed around her. Always polite, always gracious, but keeping some distance. "She's very ambitious," he'd observed once. "Is that a bad thing?" "Not necessarily. Just something to be aware of." I hadn't understood what he meant then. I understood now. The ride from the cemetery to the Bridgewater estate took 40 minutes. Vanessa drove her Tesla in silence while I sat passenger, staring out the window at the rolling Virginia countryside. The estate appeared through the trees like something from another era. Georgian architecture, red brick, white columns. My great-grandfather had built it in 1924. 18 acres of manicured grounds, gardens, a private pond, worth $5.5 million, according to the most recent appraisal, plus another $3.2 million million in furnishings, art, and my father's rare book collection. Vanessa pulled up to the front entrance and was out of the car before I'd even unbuckled. She practically danced up the front steps. "Go ahead," she said, arms crossed. "Try your key." I pulled out my keyring, the brass key I'd carried since I was 16 when Dad first trusted me with estate access. I tried the lock. Nothing. Wouldn't even slide in. "Oops." Vanessa's voice dripped with manufactured sympathy. "Looks like you're locked out of your own childhood home. Or rather, my home now, technically." She produced a new key from her purse, dangling it just out of reach. "Wanna ask nicely for access?" That's when Graham Pierce emerged from the East Gardens, pruning shears in hand. He'd been Dad's estate manager for 23 years longer than I'd been alive. Late 50s, silver hair, weathered face from decades of outdoor work. "Mr. Carter." He saw my expression, and his face hardened. "Is there a problem?" Vanessa stepped forward, chin up. "No problem, Graham. Just clarifying the new ownership structure. I'm the legal owner of this property now. Derek is." Adjusting. "Excuse me?" Graham's voice went flat. "I have documentation. The estate transferred to me yesterday. It's all proper and legal." "Ma'am, I'm not sure what you've been told." "I haven't been told anything. I made it happen." She pulled out her phone, started scrolling. "I have the transfer documents right here. Kenneth Shaw, licensed estate attorney, handled everything. The property is mine." Graham looked at me. "Mr. Carter?" I reached into my jacket. My hands shook slightly as I pulled out the envelope. The one Thomas Reinhardt had given me 3 weeks ago when we'd updated Dad's will. The one I'd been carrying in my jacket pocket, planning to file it away after the funeral. "Read this," I said, handing it to Graham. He opened it carefully, unfolded the documents inside. His expression shifted as he read from confused to certain to something that looked almost like satisfaction. "Official property deed, recorded with the county. Sole ownership, Derek Andrew Carter. Dated 2 months ago. Notarized by Thomas Reinhardt's firm. Witnessed by 3 certified legal professionals. And in bold text, clause 7.3. This property shall remain the sole and separate property of Derek Andrew Carter. Immune to any claims of community property, marital rights, A&A, or spousal interest under Virginia law. This designation is irrevocable and survives the death of the grantor." Graham looked at Vanessa. "Ma'am, this property belongs to Mr. Carter exclusively. No transfer occurred yesterday or any other day. You have no legal claim." The color drained from Vanessa's face. "That's impossible." Kenneth filed the paperwork. I watched him do it. He had the deed documents, the transfer forms, everything. "Kenneth who?" Graham asked. "Kenneth Shaw, estate attorney. He has an office on Riverside Boulevard, 3rd floor." Graham's expression didn't change. "There's no attorney by that name registered with the Virginia State Bar. I checked last week." My stomach dropped. "You checked?" "Your father asked me to, 3 weeks ago." Graham's voice was gentle now. He'd noticed Mrs. Carter asking unusual questions about the estate, property values, transfer procedures, community property law. I felt sick. "He suspected she might try something after he passed," Graham continued. "So he had me verify any attorneys claiming to handle estate business. There is no Kenneth Shaw registered anywhere in Virginia. The address you mentioned? It's a shared office space. Temporary leases." Vanessa's phone nearly slipped from her hands. No, that's not." He showed me his credentials, his bar association certificate. He had a receptionist, a conference room, other clients. "You got scammed," I said quietly. "What?" Her voice cracked like breaking glass. "I paid $12,000. He walked me through everything. The community property statute, the transfer procedure, the filing timeline." She was scrolling frantically through her phone now. Found a number. Dialed. "Ring, ring, ring. The number you have reached is not in service. Please check the..." She dialed again. Same message. "Kenneth, answer your phone. Kenneth Shaw, you answer me right now." She was screaming at her phone, mascara starting to smear as tears formed. Graham motioned toward the gatehouse. I saw 2 security personnel emerge. Carter Security Services, the firm we'd contracted for estate protection. "Mrs. Carter needs to leave the property," Graham said calmly. "Immediately." "Wait, no, Derek. We can talk about this baby, please." I looked at her, really looked at her for the first time since the cemetery. Her perfectly styled hair, her designer dress, her jewelry including the diamond necklace I'd given her for our 5th anniversary, worth $40,000. She'd whispered threats at my father's funeral, tried to steal his legacy while mourners were still crying, smiled while destroying me. "You tried to take everything," I said, "at Dad's funeral, while people were praying over his grave. I made a mistake. I panicked. Your father's passing was so sudden, and I wasn't thinking clearly. You planned this for weeks. You researched the law, found someone you thought could help you steal my inheritance, paid $12,000. Derek, please. You waited until he passed away to make your move." The security guards moved closer. Vanessa backed toward her car. "You can't kick me out. I'm your wife. Not for much longer. You can't divorce me. Virginia is an equitable distribution state. I'll get half of everything you own." I almost laughed. "You just admitted, in front of witnesses, that you attempted to fraudulently claim my inheritance. You can explain that to a divorce attorney." Her face went white. "I didn't mean I wasn't." Graham handed handed me back the documents. Your father knew she'd try something. That's why he updated the will 2 months ago, added the spousal protection clause, had 3 witnesses present during signing, recorded everything with the state. My father, always 3 steps ahead. Vanessa stared at the envelope in my hands, at the official seals, at the security guards blocking her path back to the house. This isn't over, she hissed. I'll fight this. I'll get a real lawyer. You'll leave, I said. Now. She looked between me, Graham, and the guards. Her phone started ringing, probably bill collectors, wondering about that $12,000. She stumbled to her Tesla, hands shaking so badly she dropped her keys twice. You'll regret this, she screamed through the open window. I gave you 9 years. 9 years of my life. The tires screeched as she accelerated down the driveway, gravel spraying across the manicured lawn. The security guards closed the main gate behind her with a heavy mechanical clang. I stood there, envelope in hand, watching her disappear down the tree-lined road. Graham cleared his throat. Your father left instructions. If this situation arose, I was to give you something. What? He walked toward the house. I followed him through the entrance, the door I'd been locked out of 30 minutes ago, and into my father's study. The room smelled like leather and old paper. His desk sat exactly as he'd left it, his reading glasses folded next to a first edition Hemingway. Graham opened the desk drawer, pulled out another envelope. This one had my name, in Dad's handwriting. He wrote this 6 weeks ago, Graham said, after Vanessa started asking about estate procedures. I opened it with shaking hands. Asterisk Derek, asterisk, asterisk. If you're reading this, I'm gone, and Vanessa has tried exactly what I feared she would. Asterisk, asterisk. I'm sorry, son. I should have warned you more clearly, but I know you wouldn't have believed me, without proof. You needed to see her true nature yourself. Asterisk, asterisk. I've known for months that she was planning something. Small things. Questions about inheritance law, conversations with people she thought I didn't know about, researching estate transfer procedures. Asterisk, asterisk. I hired an investigator, found out she'd been contacting multiple attorneys about ways to claim the Bridgewater property. Most were legitimate lawyers who told her it was impossible, but she kept searching until she found someone willing to take her money and lie. Asterisk, asterisk. The man she paid, Kenneth Shaw, is a con artist. He's been running estate fraud schemes in 3 states. I have his information documented with the Virginia Attorney General's office. They're building a case. Asterisk, asterisk. I've protected everything. The house is yours, completely. The foundation is secure. The commercial properties are in trust structures she can't touch. Asterisk. But I couldn't protect you from the pain of learning who she really is. Asterisk, asterisk. I'm sorry for that. Asterisk, asterisk. You deserve someone who loves you for you, not for what you represent. Someone who would stand beside you at my funeral out of genuine grief, not calculated opportunism. Asterisk, asterisk. I wish I could be there to help you through this, but I trust you. You're stronger than you know. Asterisk, asterisk. The estate manager has full documentation. Graham knows everything. Trust him. Asterisk, asterisk. I love you, son. Always have. Always will. Asterisk, asterisk. Build something better than what she tried to destroy. Asterisk, asterisk. Dad, asterisk. I had to sit down. Graham stood quietly by the window, giving me space. He knew, I said finally. He knew everything. He was protecting you the only way he could, by letting you see the truth yourself. I looked around the study. At the books my father had collected over 50 years. At the photographs of our family, my mother, who'd passed when I was 12, me at various ages, Dad receiving his medical research awards. This was my inheritance, not just the property or the money, the legacy of a man who'd spent his last months protecting his son from a predator. What happens now? I asked. Graham pulled out his phone. I call Thomas Reinhardt. He's been waiting. We start divorce proceedings immediately, before Vanessa can hire representation or hide assets. We file fraud charges against Kenneth Shaw. The Attorney General's office has been looking for him. She took $12,000 from our joint account. Documented. We'll recover it in the divorce. She tried to steal a $5.5 million estate. Also documented. Virginia courts don't look kindly on spousal theft, especially attempted inheritance fraud. I felt something settling in my chest. Not quite peace, but something close. Justice. Cold and certain. Thomas Reinhardt arrived within 2 hours. 71 years old. White hair, wire-rimmed glasses. He'd known my father since law school. Derek. He shook my hand firmly. I'm sorry for your loss. Your father was my closest friend. Thank you. We sat in the study. He laid out documents across Dad's desk. Your father updated everything 2 months ago, Thomas explained. He suspected Vanessa was planning something and wanted ironclad protections in place. Graham mentioned that. The estate is protected through a special trust structure. Even if you were married for 50 years, it remains your sole property. Virginia courts recognize these specific inheritance protections. What about divorce? Thomas's expression hardened. We file tomorrow. Grounds: constructive fraud, attempted theft, breach of marital trust. I have statements from Graham and the security personnel who witnessed her confession at the cemetery. She actually confessed at the funeral. in front of multiple witnesses. Her exact words, according to Graham, "I changed the locks on the Bridgewater house. The estate is mine now, legally transferred." I closed my eyes. She said it, all of it. That's attempted inheritance fraud. In Virginia, that's grounds for immediate divorce with cause, which means she forfeits any claim to equitable distribution of marital assets. She gets nothing. She gets whatever she brought into the marriage, minus legal fees, plus potential criminal charges for conspiracy to commit fraud. She paid Kenneth Shaw $12,000, which establishes intent. Who is Kenneth Shaw? Really? Thomas pulled out another file. Real name, Kenneth Sawyer. He's run estate fraud schemes in Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. Uses temporary office spaces, fake credentials, and targets people in emotional distress, usually recent widows or, in this case, spouses trying to manipulate inheritance. The Attorney General knows about him. They've been building a RICO case for 18 months. Your father's investigator provided crucial documentation. When Vanessa contacted Shaw, she walked directly into an ongoing investigation. My head spun. Dad was investigating her? He hired Richmond Investigative Services 3 months ago. Catherine Walsh, lead investigator, former FBI white-collar crimes unit. She's documented everything: Vanessa's communications with Shaw, her research into inheritance law, her bank withdrawals to pay for the legal services. Thomas handed me a folder. I opened it. Printed emails, bank statements, photos of Vanessa meeting with Kenneth Shaw at various locations, surveillance logs. Your father wanted you to have this after his passing, Thomas said. He knew you wouldn't believe it while he was alive. You'd defend her, but he wanted you to see the truth eventually. I stared at a photo dated 3 weeks ago. Vanessa and Kenneth Shaw at a coffee shop. Documents spread across the table. She was smiling, excited, planning to steal my father's legacy, while he lay in the hospital, weakening daily. She knew he was ill, I said slowly. She knew he had maybe a month. She was counting down. The coldness in my chest spread. Not anger anymore. Something deeper. Clarity. I spent that night in my father's house, my house now going through documents. Catherine Walsh, the investigator, had provided a timeline. February 3rd, Vanessa makes first contact with inheritance attorney, searching for community property inheritance transfer options. February 8th, she contacts Kenneth Shaw through his fake law firm website. February 15th, first meeting with Shaw. She pays $3,000 initial consultation fee. February 22nd, Vanessa withdraws $12,000 from our joint savings account. Tells me it's for home renovations. March 1st, my father is admitted to the hospital. Doctors say he has weeks, maybe a month. March 5th, Vanessa meets with Shaw again. They plan the transfer to occur immediately after Dad's passing. March 12th, Dad updates his will, adds spousal protection clause, records everything with the state. March 15th, Shaw provides Vanessa with fake transfer documents. She believes the estate is hers. March 20th, my father passes away. March 22nd, the funeral. Vanessa's confession. She'd planned it perfectly, except my father had planned better. I found a video file in the investigation folder, labeled March 5th Surveillance. I clicked play. Vanessa and Kenneth Shaw in a restaurant booth. Audio was clear, probably someone at a nearby table with recording equipment. So it's done? Vanessa's voice. The transfer will happen automatically when he dies? Shaw's voice, smooth and confident. Absolutely. The moment the previous owner passes, the community property statute triggers the transfer. You'll own the Bridgewater estate outright. And Derek won't be able to contest it? He can try. But Virginia law is very clear on spousal inheritance rights. You've been married 9 years. That's community property, period. Vanessa laughed. Actually, laughed. God, this is perfect. I've been waiting for this for years. How long have you been planning this? Since we got married. I did the research before I even met him. The Carter family is worth millions. The estate alone is $5.5 million, plus the foundation assets, the commercial properties. Smart woman. I know. Her voice was bright, happy. Derek's nice enough, but he's just a means to an end. His father's the real prize. My hands clenched around the laptop. What will you do after the transfer? Shaw asked. Probably divorce Derek, keep the estate, get half the marital assets in the settlement. I'll walk away with at least 8 or 9 million total. And if he fights? He won't. Derek's too soft, too nice. He'll accept whatever happens because he doesn't like conflict. She sighed. It's pathetic, honestly. His father was a brilliant man. Derek's just adequate. The video ended. I sat there in the dark study, my father's desk lamp the only light. Adequate. 9 years. She'd played me for 9 years, and my father had known. The next morning, Thomas filed divorce papers. Grounds, fraud, breach of trust, attempted theft of inheritance, attached documentation, surveillance video videos, bank records, witness statements from the funeral, and Kenneth Shaw's identity as a known con artist. By afternoon, Vanessa's attorney called Thomas. "My client is willing to settle amicably," the lawyer said. Thomas had him on speaker in his office downtown. "Define amicably," Thomas said. "She'll accept a $2 million settlement and waive all other claims. Your client attempted to fraudulently steal a $5.5 million estate. She's getting nothing. Mr. Reinhardt, Virginia is an equitable distribution state, not when fraud is involved. Read the case law. Henderson v. Henderson 2018. Spouse who attempts inheritance fraud forfeits equitable claims. Pause. We'll fight this. Please do. We have video evidence of your client planning the fraud. We have her confession at the funeral in front of witnesses. We have documentation of her payments to a known con artist. And we have investigators ready to testify. She made a mistake. She made a calculated plan. For 9 years." Thomas's voice was ice. "Tell your client she has 24 hours to accept our terms. Immediate divorce. She keeps only premarital assets. She pays her own legal fees, and she surrenders all access to Carter properties. And if she refuses, we file criminal charges. Conspiracy to commit fraud. The Attorney General's office is very interested in her involvement with Kenneth Shaw." The line went dead. Thomas looked at me. "She'll refuse. She's too arrogant to believe she'll lose." "What happens then?" "We go to court and we destroy her." Vanessa refused the settlement. Her attorney filed a counterclaim, demanding $4 million in equitable distribution, claiming emotional distress, accusing me of constructive abandonment during our marriage. Thomas smiled when he read it. "Perfect," he said. "She's going on record with lies. Makes our case easier." The divorce hearing was scheduled for 2 months out. In the meantime, I moved forward with my life. I stayed at the Bridgewater estate. Graham helped me sort through Dad's belongings, deciding what to keep, what to donate, what to preserve for the family foundation. I found letters, dozens of them. Dad had been writing to me for months, processing his thoughts about Vanessa, about his illness, about what he wanted for my future. One letter, dated 3 weeks before his passing. Derek. I'm not afraid of what's coming. I've lived a full life, helped people through the foundation, raised a son I'm proud of, loved your mother for the time we had together. My only regret is Vanessa. I should have warned you more directly, but you're my son, stubborn, loyal, trusting. You wouldn't have believed me without proof. So, I gathered proof. By the time you read this, you'll know what she is, what she planned, what she tried to take. I'm sorry you had to learn this way. But I'm not sorry for protecting you. You deserve better. You deserve someone who sees your worth, not your bank account. When this is over, when the pain fades, promise me you'll stay open to real love. Not everyone is Vanessa. Build something good, Derek. That's all I ask. Love. Dad. I kept that letter in my wallet. The divorce hearing arrived in May. Vanessa showed up in a designer suit, hair perfect, makeup flawless, playing the wronged wife. Her attorney was Maxwell Green, expensive, well-known, specialized in high-asset divorces. Thomas had brought Catherine Walsh, the investigator, and Graham as witnesses. Judge Patricia Hendricks presided, 62 years old, known for her no-nonsense approach to marital fraud cases. Green opened with sympathy. "Your Honor, my client is devastated. After 9 years of marriage, she's being abandoned in her time of grief." "Mr. Green," Judge Hendricks's voice cut through. "I've read the filings. Let's skip the theater." Green faltered. "Your Honor, the community property statute is clear. So is the fraud statute. Proceed with evidence." Thomas stood. "Your Honor, we have video evidence of Mrs. Carter planning inheritance fraud with Kenneth Sawyer, also known as Kenneth Shaw, currently under investigation by the Virginia Attorney General's office." He played the restaurant surveillance footage. Vanessa's voice filled the courtroom. "I've been waiting for this for years. Derek's nice enough, but he's just a means to an end. His father's the real prize." Vanessa went pale. Green scrambled. "Your Honor, this is taken out of context. We also have witness testimony," Thomas continued. "Graham Pierce, estate manager, present at the funeral when Mrs. Carter confessed to fraudulent transfer attempts. Graham took the stand. Calm, professional, devastating. She told Mr. Carter, quote, "I changed the locks on the Bridgewater house. It's mine now, legally transferred." She smiled while saying it. Mourners were still praying. 10. The judge's expression hardened. "We have bank records," Thomas continued, showing Mrs. Carter withdrew $12,000 to pay Kenneth Sawyer for fraudulent legal services. "We have documentation proving Mr. Carter's father established ironclad inheritance protections specifically to prevent this scenario." Green tried to rally. "Your Honor, my client was emotionally vulnerable." "Your client planned this for 9 years," Thomas said. "She targeted Derek Carter for his family's wealth. She researched inheritance fraud. She paid a con artist to help her steal a $5.5 million estate, and she confessed to multiple credible witnesses at a funeral. Judge Hendricks looked at Vanessa. Mrs. Carter, do you have anything to say? Vanessa stood. Her hands shook. I made mistakes. I was scared. The estate was so valuable, and I thought, you thought you could steal it. The judge's voice was flat. I've seen many cases, Mrs. Carter. I've never seen someone plan inheritance theft this methodically while their father-in-law was on his deathbed. I didn't mean you paid $12,000 to a criminal. You researched fraud methods. You confessed at a funeral. Judge Hendricks shook her head. This is perhaps the most clear-cut case of marital fraud I've encountered. She looked at her notes. Divorce granted. Grounds: fraud, breach of marital trust, attempted theft. Mrs. Carter receives only her documented premarital assets. No equitable distribution. She pays her own legal fees. Green stood. Your Honor, we intend to appeal. Appeal if you want. The video evidence alone is damning. She signed the order. We're done here. Vanessa tried to approach me in the courthouse hallway. Derek, please, don't. I never meant to hurt you. You planned this for 9 years. You told a con artist I was adequate. You smiled at my father's funeral while stealing from me. Tears streamed down her face. Real or performed, I didn't care anymore. I loved you. No, you loved what I represented. There's a difference. Thomas appeared at my elbow. Mr. Carter, we should go. I walked away. Vanessa called after me, voice breaking. I didn't look back. 3 months later, Kenneth Sawyer was arrested in Maryland. The Attorney General's office charged him with 12 counts of fraud, conspiracy, and operating an unlicensed legal practice. Vanessa was named as a co-conspirator, but given immunity in exchange for testimony. She'd have to explain, under oath, how she'd planned to steal my inheritance. Her reputation was destroyed. Her PR career evaporated. No firm wanted someone documented on video planning fraud. Last I heard, she'd moved to Colorado, working retail, living in a small apartment. I didn't feel satisfaction, just distance. I scattered Dad's ashes in the Bridgewater estate gardens on a cool October afternoon. Just me, Graham, Thomas, and a few of Dad's oldest friends. Uncle Robert gave a short speech about my father's generosity, his dedication to medical research, his love for his family. He protected the people he loved, Robert said, looking at me, even when they didn't know they needed protecting. After everyone left, I sat in Dad's study. Now, my study. The house felt different, lighter, somehow. I'd been going through Dad's papers, organizing the foundation, planning new research grants in his name. Catherine Walsh, the investigator, sent me a final report. Kenneth Sawyer's fraud operation had targeted 43 people across 3 states. Most were widows, vulnerable people grieving. Vanessa had been different. She'd sought him out, used him. The report ended with a note. Asterisk. Your father hired us to protect you, but he also wanted you to learn something. Trust your instincts. If someone seems too good to be true, investigate. Don't ignore red flags. Asterisk. Asterisk. He said you had good instincts, but you were too kind to act on them. Asterisk. Asterisk. He hoped this would change that. Asterisk. Asterisk. Be kind, Derek, but be smart too. Asterisk. Asterisk. Catherine Walsh. Richmond Investigative Services. Asterisk. I folded the report and filed it away. A year after Dad's passing, I met someone. Her name was Rachel. She worked at a bookstore in Richmond, specializing in first editions and rare volumes. I'd gone in looking for a specific Hemingway edition. She'd found it within minutes, explaining its provenance, its publication history, why this particular printing was significant. You really know your books, I'd said. She'd smiled. It's what I love, not the money, just the stories, the history. We talked for an hour, about literature, about her rescue dog, about her family's bakery. She didn't ask about my house, my foundation, my family's money. She asked what I liked to read. We went for coffee, then dinner, then a weekend hiking trip. 6 months in, I told her about Vanessa, the whole story. She was quiet for a long time. That's horrible, she finally said. I'm sorry you went through that. It taught me something. What? To pay attention, to trust my instincts, to value people who see me, not what I represent. She squeezed my hand. For what it's worth, I like what I see. We sat on my back patio, watching the sun set over the Bridgewater Gardens. Your father sounds like he was incredible, Rachel said. He was. He protected me even when I didn't know I needed it. You were lucky to have him. I know. The gardens stretched out before us, carefully maintained by Graham and his crew. Dad's legacy, preserved. Not the money, not the property, the protection, the wisdom, the fierce love that anticipated danger and built walls against it. Rachel leaned against my shoulder. Want to know something? What? If I'd met you 9 years ago, I would have liked you just as much as I do now, even if you'd lived in a studio apartment and drove a beat-up Honda. I smiled. Good to know. I'm serious. You're kind, thoughtful, you listen. That's what matters. My father would have liked you. Yeah? Yeah. He wanted me to find someone real, someone who saw my worth, not my bank account. She kissed my cheek. Well, I do see your worth, and it has nothing to do with this house. We sat there as darkness fell, and for the first time since Dad's funeral, I felt genuinely at peace.